2 days ago, I took a visit to the most touristy area in Seoul. Jongno is a culturally and historically rich district with landmarks such as palaces and traditional villages, lots of good local food. I brought my vintage camcorder with me in an attempt to capture the beauty of the area. And today I wanted to sit down and have a little chat with you guys about how my day there went and share some useful tips for you guys who are planning on one day visiting or hoping to one day visit. So, hi! Welcome to my vlog / unofficial guide to spending a day in Seoul. Please keep in mind that I am not a tourism expert, so I do not have all the information whatsoever, but I do hope that you guys can enjoy a glimpse of Seoul through this little video. So we started our day in Ikseon-dong, which is a small traditional Hanok village which has turned into a trendy alley full of restaurants and cafes. There are a lot of cute shops and aesthetic cafes and restaurants that you can enjoy while also enjoying the traditional architecture. We spent the morning walking around the streets, exploring some of the shops. There was a modern hanbok store that we spent the longest time in, and my mom ended up buying a pair of pants there. They had a lot of cute patterns and hanbok designs that were suitable for even everyday wear. For lunch, there are plenty of restaurant options that you can choose from, some of them more popular than others. We decided to eat in 오늘 그대와, which is an Italian food franchise that I personally really love. Everything on the menu is amazing, but my personal favorite that we ordered was the mushroom cream risotto. After that, we headed to a cafe for some coffee and ice cream. It definitely wasn't the most famous coffee shop there, but we were looking for some place more quieter, so we were very happy with our choice. Plus, the chocolate ice cream was chef's kiss. Honestly, Ikseon-dong isn't that big, so I recommend walking around a little bit to find a cafe that suits your vibe. We strategically stayed at the cafe until it was time to walk over to Gyeongbokgung Palace, just in time to catch the guard changing ceremony. By the way, there is a field of flowers near the main gate of Gyeongbokgung Palace, so I highly recommend stopping by and enjoying the scenery. guard ceremony happens twice a day at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and we caught the 2 p.m. one, and it was really cool getting to see how the palace and city were protected by our ancestors centuries ago.
Based on the historical records and literature of the time.
There are actually several palaces in the Jongno area that you can visit. I think there's 5, but Gyeongbokgung Palace is known to be the biggest and the most iconic, so it's usually the one that tourists prioritize. The entrance fee is very affordable. It's only 3,000 won, but we got to go in for free because it was the last Wednesday of the month, which is Culture Day in Korea. On Culture Day, a lot of museums and cultural sites are free or discounted, so keep that in mind. And you also get a free entrance if you wear a hanbok, which you can rent in nearby stores. I did that a few years ago, and there is just something so magical about the whole experience, and I really felt like a princess. I didn't wear a hanbok this time, but just walking around the palace was magical enough. The palace is also located right next to the National Folk Museum of Korea and the National Palace Museum if you're interested in adding a few more stops to your visit. We then started walking towards the Bukchon Hanok Village, which is a neighborhood with hundreds of traditional Hanok homes still in use today. One tip is that if you exit the palace through the side gate, you can get there much faster than using the main gate, but for some reason our map wasn't showing that as an option. Since Bukchon Hanok Village is still a residential area, it's important to be respectful and keep the noise down while visiting. The visiting hours are limited from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so it does get a little bit crowded, but you can catch some really beautiful views of Seoul, including Namsan Tower in the distance. All throughout the Jongno area, you can easily find traditional tea houses, and we went to one in Bukchon called 차 마시는 뜰. I can honestly say that this place was the highlight of my day. The traditional interior, the peaceful vibes, the traditional tea, the view, everything was so perfect. They had both indoor and outdoor seating, which were all lovely, and they even had a little pond in the center. We ordered green tea, ginger tea, and iced flower tea with some rice cakes, and the staff kindly showed us how to properly brew the tea, which was also very fun. It was the perfect place to wind down after a full day of walking and exploring. I also brought along my cross-stitch embroidery, which I recently started, and it was the perfect ending to a beautiful day. And that wraps up my day touring and exploring around the heart of Seoul. Of course, jongno has so many more fun places to check out, like Samjikgil and Annyeong Insadong, which are full of souvenir shops, stationery stores, DIY spots. But as a local whose priority isn't in shopping, they are not the first places I would go to. But if you're looking to shop for cute little items in this area, I definitely recommend visiting those places too. Anyway, I hope this little chit-chat / vlog was enjoyable and maybe even a little bit helpful. If you made it this far, thank you so much. It really means a lot. And I will see you in the next one.